We've got the updated Nissan Rogue.
I love the look on the outside.
Hold on, Zach.
I always hold on, Andrea.
This is a turbo. Oh, yeah. The thing about this Rogue, it's got some good power.
Actually, we have a question coming up about the transmission in a moment, so stick around for that. Right now, what's under the hood of this thing?
A 1.5 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder matched to a CVT. It has 201 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive in Canada. In the US, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive options are available, and you can put regular fuel in the Rogue.
So this has been updated for 2024. What do you get with it? What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with an 8-inch touchscreen, wired Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a 7-inch driver display, a 4-speaker audio system, heated front seats, cloth upholstery, a heated steering wheel, 6-way manual driver seat, 4-way manual passenger seat, idle, start-stop, and Nissan Safety Shield 360.
All these terrain settings here. What else can we put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the Couple Car Review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's up behind the scenes and to get a question in. More on that halfway through the video. And for me, it's Motormouth_Auto. And the links are below the like button. So I said off the beginning, I like the way this looks. I think the updates, especially with this one with the two-tone paint scheme, looks really, really nice. So what they've done on the outside to update it, they've done a new front and rear. This is a classic mid-cycle facelift. So you get a new grille and the fascias have been updated. I think they've done a really nice job. It looks more planted and solid now.
Yeah, for sure. And new wheel designs too. Now moving to the inside, there's some really nice changes. First off, an available 12.3-inch touchscreen with Amazon Alexa, Google built in, and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, wireless Android Auto has never been available on the Rogue. It was always wired, so I'm absolutely thrilled that that has been added.
That's because it's a Rogue. They went all rogue and they added it in there.
They didn't go Dave on us.
Well, that's what I always joked about. It's like maybe misnamed as Rogue because it's a really pleasant vehicle. It's more like Steve than Rogue.
More like Steve or Dave.
Dave.
As well, Nissan Connect Services now includes a 3-year trial, which it used to be 6 months, and USB-C ports have been added, which is a first for a Nissan vehicle.
And on this top Platinum trim, you even get USB-C in the back, and I was really surprised by this, Andy. We're going to get to the back seat in a bit. I just want to say that I'm impressed. It has automatic climate control in the back.
I know, fantastic.
Think about that. This is a very well designed product. Like functionality, it really hits above its grade.
This video is brought to you by TuxMat. This is our son's Honda Civic, and he's an electrician. He's on job sites every day, and I gotta tell you, these mats from the factory are terrible and they are filthy. As you can see, these mats are dirty, but they're also flimsy and they don't provide a lot of support. So we're gonna get in there, we're gonna clean this car up, put the new mats in. Zach, I'm wearing cream, you're on deck.
What? Okay, let's see what we're working with here. Now that is a big difference. They're really well made. You can see they have great structure to them. And this is for the rear of the car, and you can see it covers both footwells and the middle. If you have kids climbing in and out of a car, this would be perfect.
Well, the car is clean and the TuxMats are in. They just slid right in. They have a very precise fit. If you have any trouble with your mats, call customer service. They'll be happy to help you out.
Now these new TuxMats look much better than the old mats. They have more coverage and a quality feel, and I'm sure they're going to last a long time. To find out more and to order TuxMats, click on the link in the description below. So this is the impression I get, Andrea, driving this Rogue. Is the suspension isn't soft. It actually has quite a bit of feedback through the chassis and the steering wheel. It has a little bit of traditional SUV feel to it.
It really does. It's a little bit firmer. The steering is a little bit heavier, but maneuverability is still excellent. This is a great city runaround, but once you get it on the highway, if you want that extra passing power, here we go. No problem.
Yeah, it's got torque. I mean, it's amazing to think, we haven't even really touched on the engine. We should kind of go back a little bit, that it's got this little 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo.
I know.
And it's interesting because we recently drove the Buick and the Chevrolet Trax with a even smaller 3-cylinder turbo, and we were mightily impressed by the torque output of those engines. So it can be done, and it can deliver a very satisfying experience.
And that's what you need. You need a good torque number for acceleration, especially from a standstill or passing on the highway. Like, I'm really surprised by how much power this has, and I like the turbocharged engine. Obviously, you've got to be careful with how you drive it for fuel economy, because if you're gunning it all the time, or you've got it in sport mode,
or if you're driving it like Andrea,
you may not get those EPA numbers. Just saying.
One little thing before we move on is it actually has a satisfying sound. It's not buzzy. It has a bit of a throaty response to it, and I like it.
Me too. One thing I like about the Rogue is it's a great family vehicle because it has very large doors, and they open to up to 90 degrees, so it's easy to get car seats in, kids, dogs.
Chubby middle-aged men.
Hey, right? No, not at all. Anyway, this comes standard with LED headlights, LED tail lights. You get 17-inch wheels available, 18 and 19-inch wheels, a temporary spare tire, and the Rogue gets 8.2 inches of ground clearance.
Well, we touched on it already. This has got a wow factor with the big screen. On the way here, I was just confirming with Andrea what size the center screen is, because they've done a really nice job of giving it sort of like a borderless look to it. It's 12.3 inches, but it looks bigger. I thought it was maybe 14, but that would just be crazy talk.
That'd be crazy talk.
So what trim gets this one? Because I kind of like that.
Yeah, the SL model in Canada gets the kind of these extra upgrades, like the 12.3-inch touchscreen, the 12.3-inch digital driver display. We're in the Platinum model.
Of course we are.
Of course we are. So it comes standard with cloth upholstery, available leather wrap, but we've got these quilted semi-aniline leather seats, and they are beautiful. I would put the interior of this Rogue at best in class in this compact segment, except I'm going to add the CX-5 in there from Mazda as well.
You know what?
But the technology isn't as good in the Mazda as it is in here.
Yeah, but you know what? The Mitsubishi Cousin, this is built on a common platform with the Mitsubishi Outlander. If you get the top trims of that, also semi-aniline quilted seats and a similar kind of vibe. Sure, there's shiny hard plastic around the HVAC controls and also the radio volume control, but the center console where your cup holders are and the doors, that's all this matte look, and those are some touch points that aren't going to show all the fingerprints.
Well, Nissan's added some new materials and textures in here. You can see wood now as a trim piece on this top Platinum model, and I also like the floating center console and the storage underneath. Once again, great for families, whether you want to put a small bag or snacks, right?
You know what
Kids always have snacks.
It's hard plastic under there. Maybe the dealer sells it, or just get one of those little shelf liners, but I would put like a little rubberized thing in there because my microphone would slide around. It's all for me.
It's all for Zach. I also like that this has available power front seats. You've got driver's seat memory, the panoramic sunroof.
Not available in a RAV4 in Canada.
No.
Not available in a CRV in Canada. You can't get them in the US though.
So it really feels open and bright in here. I like the seating position. I'm kind of sitting up and over the dash, and the seats are comfortable. Wouldn't you say they're comfortable?
Yeah, they're zero gravity. Other available features on the Rogue include a wireless charger, ambient lighting, a round view monitor, a 10-speaker Bose sound system, head-up display, remote folding rear seats, heated rear seats, power liftgate, motion-activated power liftgate, and Pro Pilot Assist. The Rogue does not offer ventilated seats on any trim. Incoming chubby guy in the back seat. There's plenty of legroom. This is a real standout if you want to put people in the back seat. There is a lot of legroom, good headroom. How does it stack up?
Comparing the Rogue to another big SUV in this class, the Honda CR-V, the Rogue has 41.5 inches of front row legroom, which is a little more than the Honda. Second row legroom at 38.5 inches is good, but falls short to the CR-V by 2.5 inches.
On this model, it has a power liftgate. When you flip it up, it has the optional divide cargo system to stop your groceries from flying around. A really nice feature and unique to Rogue.
Overall cargo space at 74 cubic feet, and space behind the second row at 36.5 cubic feet is just a little bit smaller than the CR-V.
Prediction time. CVT is going to come up and reliability is going to come up. Let's find out.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
It's a handsome vehicle. Looking forward to the review. I'm curious about the wind and road noise at highway speeds and if the CVT is buzzy.
I don't think the CVT is buzzy. I think that Nissan has worked on this and it's actually really quite good. Both of us, I thought it and then Andrea said it. She said what I thought and I was thinking what she said, that if you drive this, you don't really notice that it's got a CVT. That's a great compliment to what they've done with the calibration.
Surprisingly, I mean, most of the time when you're in a vehicle with an engine matched to a CVT, you can hear it. This is very good. At highway speeds, surprisingly, another surprise, it remains fairly quiet in the cabin. I mean, when you accelerate quickly, it's very good. It's somewhat refined. Something like the Toyota RAV4. That gas model gets a little loud when you accelerate. This is not the case with the Rogue.
What's that? Couldn't hear you. Sitting in the RAV4.
If you watch our video, I think we did do that.
We kind of hammered on it.
Yeah. This would be on my list, except there's no hybrid available. What's up, Nissan?
Well, it's great because we were at the New York Auto Show and we had a roundtable with a senior executive from the U.S. side, and we talked all about this, and we kind of asked them again and again and again. So it's not imminent, but it is coming.
It's coming. They said they know they have to do it. They either need hybrids, plug-in hybrids, or both. I don't believe, after speaking with him, that it's coming before 2026.
No, it didn't sound like it was. That's what I was saying. It's not imminent, but it is coming.
How does this compare to gas-only Outlander, given that they are on similar platforms? Anything that makes Outlander better than the new Rogue, or vice versa?
The only thing that makes the Outlander better is if you get the plug-in, because the regular gas one, it's anemic to drive. This isn't anemic to drive.
It's a dog. I mean,
not this.
The Outlander gas model.
Be clear there.
When you are on a highway and you want to pack a lunch, it's going to take some time. The plug-in hybrid is totally terrific.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. That makes up all the shortcomings, because this has got a little hamster wheel turbo in there, but boy, the torque is good.
Fantastic. 225 pound-feet of torque. I like it a lot. It's a good one.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
Reliability.
Well, that is the shortest question for Hot Topic we've ever had.
Yeah.
I was a little startled there, Andrea.
To the point.
Very to the point.
Yeah.
I would suggest one thing about Nissan, and we found this with the last generation Pathfinder. When it first came out with the CVT, it had really poor quality scores, but by the time they finished making it in the last year of production, it was one of the most reliable, believe it or not. People will believe that or not, that's up to you. But just driving this, Andrea, it feels incrementally improved over the last version.
For sure, and I'll get into the numbers in just a second, but Nissan, yes, had issues with their CVT in the past, and I know it's difficult to get away from that history, but it is much improved now. Consumer Reports gives it a reliability score of 44 out of 100, but an overall score of 70 out of 100. The road test score is very high from Consumer Reports, an 81 out of 100. And then for JD Power, it's a much better score. Overall score is 83 out of 100. And then the driving experience score is 85 out of 100. Now, there have been some issues with this particular engine, but it really depends who you speak to. Some have complained about it. They've had problems. Others have a Rogue and they're absolutely loving it with no issues at all.
So what I find interesting is both Consumer Reports, JD Power, and us all really are impressed with the way it drives. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get into the fuel economy with the CVT and more in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first, and then we'll move on to the US. In Canada, pricing includes fees and levies. The base trim starts at just under $36,500, and the top Platinum we're driving is just under $48,000. In the US, the base all-wheel drive model starts at just under $30,000 and the Platinum all-wheel drive model just over $40,000.
Here's the all-wheel drive fuel economy. 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers city, 6.7 on the highway. That's 28 miles per gallon city, 35 miles per gallon highway. The towing capacity is just 1,500 pounds, and Nissan offers a warranty of 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. The most competitive segment, compact SUV. What else can you consider?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is a Toyota RAV4 with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, 203 horsepower, and a starting price just over $36,000.
The Mazda CX-5 with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 187 horsepower, and a starting price just over $35,000.
The Honda CR-V with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 190 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of just over $40,000.
The Hyundai Tucson with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 187 horsepower. The 2024 model has a starting price of just under $37,000.
So there are 4 compact SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improved.
I'm thrilled with the upgrades, especially wireless Android Auto.
I think it looks better now too.
What I'd like to see Nissan add is ventilated front seats. That can be a deal breaker for people living in a hot climate.
And they need a hybrid in this yesterday.
For sure.
So there you go. That's the updated Nissan Rogue. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.